We have long been enamored with the idea of exploration. Countless hours of theorization. Fear of validity, only to be tested when the curtains unfold. We are drawn to the thrill of the unknown, fostered by our urge to seek knowledge and further our understanding of our universe. We are our only guiding hand, limited by the extent of our ambition and the strength of our passion. We shine light into the void of understanding caused by lack of experience and venture out to better ourselves, even when it isn't necessary. We satisfy our fear and curiosity by taking one more step in the direction of potential danger, even when there is an easier option present. All areas of knowledge have been pioneered by us. We know a majority of the landscape of Earth, have mapped other planets, theorized habitability, the list goes on. But what would we do if we suddenly knew everything about our surroundings? What would we do if we had a full geographical layout of our universe? In particular, what would we do if there was nothing left to explore? This question has pondered me for a long time since there really is no correct answer. Exploration being subjective changes the answer from person to person. In a situation in which exploration has been completely stripped from them, these views tend to surface, and you are left with the utterness of that individual's life. Would they go through the motions until they pass? Potentially search for something new? Delve deeper into understanding themselves? The wonder of the question lies in the idea of speculation. You really never know what their answer is going to be, so it always uncovers something new about the individual. To start my quest at trying to derive an ultimate consensus to this question, I asked those who were closest to me. I wanted to see how the answers of the people that I always interacted with stacked up against my own, and to see if there were any similarities in the way that we thought. I wanted their untainted answer, and what they thought without being given perspective to work with. First would be my dad. Probably one of the smartest people that I know and ever will know. He talks to me about everything from stars to skyscrapers, so if anyone was going to replicate my answer, it would be him.
If we knew everything about our geographical universe and we felt that there was nothing else left to explore, then you have to turn the exploration inward towards yourself. There's a whole new realm of exploring your own consciousness, your own capabilities as a human being, and discovering what you're capable of. So in that essence, the universe really is limitless because it's the size of your consciousness, and you can start to find, a whole new universe within yourself in terms of, this is how I define who I am. Isn't that a limitation? When you define yourself by a name or who you are or where you came from, you've actually imposed a limitation on yourself. And so therefore, the universe really isn't defined by a limit. Just because it's what you can see doesn't mean that's all there is. The human capacity for exploration doesn't stop with what we see. There are things such as emotional discovery, intellectual discovery, pushing ourselves beyond what we thought we were ever capable of. And I think as humans, that's part of the human condition that we always have to try and get beyond. We have to get beyond what these self-imposed limitations are, or what other people have put on us. There is never a finish line. There is never an end.
Next would be my mom, someone who's been a big piece in everything that I do in and out of school. Though we have more fun than logical debate and conversation, the times that we do are invaluable, and I tend to learn from those experiences more often than not.
What would we do if we knew everything that was possible about the universe and about the earth? I thought about myself, thought about where I lived, thought about the people around me, and it really struck me, what could I do to make myself happy? What could I do to make other people happy? What could I do to make the place around me better? And I think I would focus on, the adage is saying, if you make yourself happy, then the people around you become happy, and would focus on that. Probably learn about what makes me healthy, how I can live longer, if I could teach other people that, and just work on self-improvement and making the place around me and then hopefully the whole world a better place.
As you can tell, the difference in opinion between my parents is fairly noticeable. Thinking on a larger scale, you can see how different everyone thinks and how two people who are married to each other don't necessarily think alike. Whether this is because it's a question that isn't proposed often, or other one that people don't consider to be a possibility, I don't know. But the sheer amount of ideas that are just lying around may serve some purpose. One thing, though, that I did find more fascinating was that I did not replicate their answers in the slightest. Parents end up transferring a lot of values and ideas into their children, so it made me wonder why something so speculative was completely independent from their influence on me. To put things into perspective, my standpoint is that people would aim to find ways to utilize environments and planets and exploit their resources for the greater good of humankind. I feel having the knowledge of the landscapes also opens up discussion about what planets could be considered habitable within our reach, allowing for new fields of study and the eventual migration of humans to other places within our universe. Although that wouldn't happen until many years after having this information available to us, it's nice to think that we would eventually become advanced enough to move off our own planet and hopefully meet another advanced civilization. Completely different from my parents, right? Well, initially I thought so too, until I recognized an underlying trend so obvious that it actually surprised me. The trend was simple: diversity. The amount of different answers that were given initially made no sense to me, but the simple fact was that there wasn't any sense to begin with. Having a complex question with a vast amount of equally complex answers served to show that there really is no limit to what we can do. Even if we knew everything around us, we can always go deeper. Investigate medicine and better the health of everyone on our planet. Focus on sealing the divide between people birthed by hatred and political difference. Investigate our new knowledge of the universe and use it to understand what is around us. Better ourselves and focus on the Buddhist principle of knowing yourself directly through knowledge rather than the influence of others. Get closer to God. The list is endless. Our love of exploration and curiosity seems to birth these diverse answers into life, feeding off one another. The more curious the person, the more explorative the answer. The more explorative the person, the more curious the answer. My mom is probably the more explorative one of my parents, and reflecting on that, it is very obvious when looking at her answer. Her desire to find new things sparks an air of curiosity in her answer, causing her to consider the realm of the undiscovered and misunderstood self as a potential answer. My dad is the more curious one, always investigating deeper into things that he already knows or wishes to know. In terms of his own answer, exploration surfaces because of his desire to look for more to investigate. Though this is something subtle, it showed in every answer that was given and was easily seen in individuals who are rather transparent. I interviewed a lot more people, but I thought these were the most significant counts since they emphasize how different we actually are, even when living in proximity of one another. That being said, even with the finite number of people we have here on Earth, the infinite possibilities generated by our minds will constantly drive us further into our understanding of our surroundings, birthing new eras of discovery in human intellect. I really don't think that I need to search for much of an answer anymore. Based on that one question, what would we do if there was nothing left to explore? I think the proper answer is, what wouldn't we do?